All right, good morning. We are live for the October 30th, 2019 ACC pre-market report. I'm your host, Tyler Reardon. I want to welcome you all to our channel. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button so that you can get more up-to-date highlights and pre-market activity. We do go live Monday through Friday pre-market, as well as intraday, and also Saturday and Sunday for education tutorials. If you're new to the stock market, I suggest that you wait till this Saturday, or excuse me, this Sunday, or we'll have our first ever how to invest in the stock market for beginners. If you're an advanced trader or a novice trader, we welcome you. You don't need to pay attention to the Sunday tutorials, but I would encourage you to take a look at our channel Monday through Friday. So this is a new channel. If it goes well, we'll continue. We're going to start off slow here. It is October 30th, 2019. It's been a busy week in the market, lots of turbulence going on. As you can see, we have up here the economic calendar for this week. It's been quite the busy day, or excuse me, quite the busy week. There's going to be lots of volatility. If you're going long, that's great, but expect some chop. If you're looking for short positions, I'd be cautious because the Feds are going to be dropping a bomb today, and looks like they're going to be dropping bombs for the rest of the week. If you look at Monday, we had our advanced trading goods report. Deficit came out slightly less than what was expected. So in a month-by-month basis, it looks like we're headed towards the right trajectory. Yesterday, we had the Case-Shiller Home Price Index as well as the Consumer Confidence Index, modestly unchanged. But today is going to be the big whammy. We have the FOMC announcement. It's going to be at 2 p.m., followed by Jerome Powell's press conference at 2:30. So a lot of traders are going to be waiting for that announcement at 2 p.m. And if I look at the market, um, it shows. I mean, we have a lot of sideways trading go on, a lot of sideways future activity. Basically, what I gather from that is that the market is kind of waiting for the announcement. It's not really going one way or the other. We've had the luxury of all-time highs in the S&P, um, as well as um, an uptick of gold and silver in the last year or so. So we'll be able to see how this Fed announcement um, affects the prices here. So my strategy really is news-based as well as technicals, but because of the volatility of the market this year, I've been more focused on news-based activity. I've been trading for over 20 years successfully. In those 20 years, out of 10, I've successfully beaten the S&P, and I've done that by following particular trade rules, patience, as well as low-risk trading activity, a lot of which I will cover over the weekend's tutorials. So if you're interested in my trading strategy, I suggest that you look at my weekend tutorials starting this Sunday. All right, so we're going to jump into it. I use Watch. It's just a clean platform. It helps me gauge kind of the futures activities before the market starts to kind of get an idea on what to look at. If you can look at my tabs up on my browser, you'll be able to see some of the stocks I'm looking on my watch list. We'll go over that in just a minute. But every day I will start with the news because, again, with the choppiness of the market, I like to trade the news, see what's going on, see what behavior the market might have during the opening bell, see kind of what it's feeling out. So here we go. Gonna scroll down here just to kind of look at the start of the news activity to see if there's anything that might look important as we start the trading day. And I know a lot of people don't like to trade this or start to do their research this early, but I do feel like there's a bit of an advantage prior to going live at 9:30. So let's see what we got here to see if there's anything important. All right, I'm going to take a look at this Deutsche Bank post loss as restructuring bites here. I think this is important. Deutsche Bank is a German bank. It's had a lot of troubles, one of the largest banks in Europe. I pay attention to this because this could be the catalyst of a global recession. I know that you probably, or you might have, I don't know, you might have looked at a lot of conspiracy videos on YouTube about the economic collapse. Ray Dalio's prediction of a global recession slash depression. Bill Salenti's um, fifth. Now, a lot of big time investors are now thinking that we are headed to a global recession, if not depression. Deutsche Bank will be probably, well, is a likely catalyst for that if it is to go under. So I think that this article is important in terms of where it's headed. Um, Deutsche Bank reported early this morning, European time. Looks like it had a second consecutive quarterly loss. It is trying to restructure itself. Um, Looks like after-tax loss for the period was 832 million euros, compared with a profit of 229 million a year earlier. So that's not good. So despite the restructuring, Deutsche Bank continues to decline. Looks like revenue fell 15%. Euro is to euro 5.26 billion. So really what I'm looking at here is they had an 832 million euro loss compared to the projection that the analysts had of only 772 million. So that's quite a big difference. Despite the loss, looks like they said that it's had some progress with its restructuring, that it's hitting its key targets, a lot of cheerleading. So looks like they haven't really had the financial results. That could be um, a signal, but maybe not that yet. I'm going to be interested in looking at the next quarter to see how it goes, and then how the earnings are the beginning of 2020, to kind of keep an eye on this, right? But I would, if I was a trader, keep an eye on Deutsche Bank. Again, one of the largest banks. And if this goes under, it's going to have a chain reaction to the rest of the central bank. So something to take a look at. Going to go back here to the news headlines. Going to start from the bottom. Oh, it looks like actor comedian John Witherspoon died at 77. That's horrible. That's horrible. Yeah, it's not good. Kind of took me off guard there. All right, scrolling down, see what I missed. Talked about the auto slowdown. It's an interesting article too. You can find all these. Obviously, you can find all these articles on Market Watch. But y- there is a worldwide auto, slowdown. Um, A, because of the tariffs. B, because of just people don't have money to buy cars. So it looks like Volkswagen's in that bucket. Reports higher earnings but cuts delivery views on auto slowdown. So I don't think that we're going to get less of these articles as other automakers start to report. I think that we're going to start getting some financial guidance, or excuse me, some guidance cuts in terms of deliveries and sales, possibly all the way into 2020. So if you're a big investor in the automotive industry, I would take caution. I don't think that's going to change unless there's a deal between the United States and China. I'm not going to really go into detail in this article um, because I think that it's not really that important, but it is something to kind of take a look at. And if you think these news articles are boring, you're probably right. However, they are important. We want to make sure that we're gauging everything that we can. This is choppy as this market is. It seems to be very sensitive to news lately. So I want to make sure that I can see everything that's going on prior to the day start. And that's the purpose of having this channel, so that you can pay attention to the environment of the market each day. Bear backs guidance as sales rise and profits fall. So interesting. Interesting. Alrighty. Looks like LG Electronics profits falls 31% on the year. I think that's interesting too. Not going to go in detail on that. A lot of updates from previous articles. Meet the lonely economist who thinks the Fed might just leave interest rates unchanged. That is a possibility, folks. The Fed is in a awkward position. We're at all-time highs. However, the market is pricing in a rate cut. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And that's why you're seeing sideways trading all the way from the S&P futures to gold and silver. It's a very what if situation. So I think traders are staying very, very cautious. Not a lot of movement this morning. Here a little bit later, we'll go over some of the pre-market movers and how to spot them. I'll also share with you some of my watch lists. I'll be watching and why, and the next couple of days leading into the week, and see if we can make any good plays off of that. But right now, it's just wait and see, wait and see, wait and see. Some notable earnings today. We have Apple. That's the big one. A lot of activity going on with Apple. Apple's at all-time highs. Has had one heck of a breakout. I played the move on it, cashed out before the beginning of the week. I just felt that I was getting a little bit too hot. I will not be playing Apple's earnings. I'm just going to wait to see what happens. Um, though I am somewhat bullish on Apple, I chose not to play it only because I don't like the fact that its earnings are buried in the Fed announcement. Um, the market, the Fed can sway the market either way. And the way that the earnings have been lately, despite a beat in guidance, the price might drop. So when there's this much volatility, I just don't know if I want to um, gamble on something like Apple. Apple TV starts November 1st, I believe. So I know that streaming service will probably get a lot of attention. I expect to hear a lot from that. I expect to hear about their services as far as their credit cards are concerned, and their big push to monetize their new services, as well as the demand for their new Apple iPhone. I think that will be a big catalyst. My theory is if the market reacts positively to Apple, we should see some movement. I wouldn't expect too much movement on the upside just because it's had a rip and rally for these last couple of, actually the almost the entire year. Um, but the valuation for Apple right now is just a little bit too high for me. So I know a lot of traders will be playing it. I will not be. I will be sitting on the sidelines. Let's see. Facebook's also going to be reporting earnings today. Again, um, I normally and just earnings. I don't like to gamble. I think there's a fine line between trading and gambling, and you just don't know with earnings. There's too much that goes into it, right? You can beat revenue, have great EPS, and have great guidance, and still plummet. And I'm just not apt to take those risks. What I usually do is do the run-ups. So about a week or maybe a couple days in advance of the earnings report, depending on the market, I'll buy into the run-up and then sell right before the earnings release, if I even play the run-up. Just like AMD, I was in AMD and I got out right before it started to dip. I saw a lot of optimism on stock twits. I had never seen so many bulls in my life, and the price dipped. So that just goes to show you that in this market, you don't know what's going to happen, and if you're playing earnings, you're gambling. And in this market, you are. So I encourage you to stay away. I don't offer trade advice, but I guess I encourage you to stay cautious. Um, when you're playing earnings just because you don't want to blow up your account or lose more than what you can afford. Right now, I have found that it's safer to just play up into the earnings and then sell before the release. But or buy into the earnings afterwards. Um, you also made a lot of money on Tesla. Who would have thought Tesla would have made that move? If you were following that, we'll go over that at the end of week recap on winners and losers. But I find it's more profitable in this market to not play the earnings and to release. Santander profits hit by 1.65 billion charge. Okay. DuPont's coming up. Interesting. DuPont earnings. Lots of Barron's articles, huh? All right. So not too much news. Not That's really to be expected. Feds are going to be announcing at 2 p.m. I think the market's waiting for that. So we'll see how that goes. But really not too much going on in the markets. So futures are still kind of sideways a little bit. We did have that down day for the Nasdaq. It looks like the Nasdaq is not really recovering. It's kind of in wait mode. Um, Silver's really not catching. Um, any positive vibes, and gold isn't either. Again, this if you look at the top left in the futures, it really looks like the market is just waiting. It is early. It's about 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I have a feeling that it's going to be sideways for the majority of the day. So don't expect a lot of movement prior to the Fed announcement. I'm gonna look at cryptos only because Bitcoin has had a bit of a run. It's kind of cooling down. It was up to 10,000 in the beginning of the week, had a really good move. Um, Once it goes back up, we'll make a play. I will show you what play that is. But right now, I'm kind of going to wait for it to climb back up. It might climb back intraday. If it does, we'll report that. If not, we'll just kind of let it go. But as of right now, it's kind of still trailing a little bit. All right, let's look at the pre-market mover. I'm interested in seeing, whoops, pre-market mover. Benzinga, the pre-market outlook. Let's see. Nope, nope, nope. I'm looking for the pre-market screener. Let's try market watch. Alrighty, so looks like we got some activity going on here. So again, what I like to do is take a look at each stock that's actually moving in the morning, see why it's moving. Maybe there'll be a continuation intraday, maybe not. What I found is that usually the big moves come in the morning, and if one, usually they trail off at bell. Sometimes they don't. You'll get a continuous runner like Tesla, but most of the time they kind of fizzle out. So I wouldn't be too hasty, but let's take a look and see if some of these stocks are moving. All right, we'll start with Mattel. Looks like Mattel's getting some flight here. All right, news. Actually, I'm going to use Google. I don't know why I did not use Google before, but we're going to use Google. So Mattel is up 199, and I'm guessing that's an earnings play. Yeah, it was a earnings play. All right. So earnings was great. Let's take a look and see what happened. Whoops. Looks like all sales were up 5% during the quarter, off a double-digit jump in the Barbie business, while the vehicle category saw a 13% gain off a stellar quarter for Hot Wheels. So yay, boys and girls alike are digging Mattel. Looks like it beat its earnings per share beat by 7 cents. It's pretty big for Mattel. Pretty big for Mattel. All right. So it looks like we had a after. Let's see. When did they report on this? After hours. Guessing after hours. So Mattel, very good move here. Solid move. If you played that earnings, that was definitely a winner. Congratulations. Um, might be a continuation, may not be. Definitely something that we're going to keep an eye on as the day progresses. But definitely a great move. I probably won't play it just because I can't trust the earnings and especially pre-market moves. If I do see something that, you know, if it goes, if it continues, I will be there to kind of keep a watch on it. But more than likely, I'll just kind of look at the dip, maybe do a little dip buy, as in market if the market goes up. PG and E Corp. Oh boy, what's this in California fires? Let's see what's going on. From Buffett. So PG&E Corp up 42 cents pre-market, had one heck of a run yesterday at $1.23. I will be looking at PG&E Corp. I know that there's been some talk about, well, there hasn't been any talk, but they are hoping that Warren Buffett buys this company. And if Buffett does buy this company, I'm going to check news here. If Buffett does buy this company, this could be, so this is definitely something I'm going to put on my watch list for November. Um, let's see here. Because I think that is possible. And I'm wondering if there's some trading activity on this too. Oops. I can't type today. It's early. Based on this. So this could actually continue. I look for a dip possibly, but it will be interesting to see. I think that's one heck of a move. Let's take a look. PG report Q3 earnings. Let's take a look at what the earnings report is.
With the all-new Silverado HD, Silverado is now the only...
Oop, sorry for that advertisement. Kind of snuck up on me. So it looks like it's California has experienced wet weather conditions led by above normal precipitation, which has increased the use of electricity, which is a positive for the company in the last quarter. Um, okay. Or there's some, we always look at the negatives and the positives. I got to find some negatives. However, here we go. However, they've been witnessing increasing wildfire-related costs, financing expenses, and associated fines, which might have negatively impacted the bottom line. So there you go. So it's got some positives, got some negatives. Um, let's see, when is their earnings report? Wonder if it's coming up really, really soon, and that's why you have the move pre-market despite the sideways. Go to NASDAQ.com. Yikes. Yikes. Get rid of all these little things here. Don't see any information on it. See if I can find it in the news. Curious to know when this earnings report is. So, past 2 quarters looks like it's had a positive surprise of 14.48%. So, okay. I would feel more confident if I knew what the earnings report was. But okay. I'm going to take a quick break just to kind of look at the market futures, let the market watch refresh itself. I forgot, Starbucks also reports today, so we'll be actually covering Starbucks later on today for the post-market report. I'm curious to see how that went. Yeah, it's like a lot of sideways action there in the futures. Let's see if Bitcoin's recovering. Nope. I'm gonna keep on Bitcoin because there's a play for Bitcoin if that goes up that I think everyone would be interested in watching. We don't give financial advice. This is purely for education. Okie dokes. Johnson and Johnson, $3.54. I think they were halted yesterday afternoon. Curious to see what's going on there. Google's a wonderful tool, by the way, if you need to look at, stock news and all sorts of things. Ah, look at that. All right. Johnson and Johnson says recalled baby powder does not have asbestos. That's good. I am trying to see what caused this news, though. I think this is it. Let's take a look at it. Come on, computer, don't fail me now. All right, J&J stock popped last Tuesday after health giants said new tests found no traces of asbestos in its baby powder. And after hours trading on the stock market today, J&J stock jumped 4% near $134.30 and below average volume. Key here is below average volume, so don't get too excited. J&J stock faced pressure amid a slew of lawsuits claiming asbestos in its oh my goodness, what are with these ads? Oh man. Amid a slew of lawsuits claiming asbestos in its baby powder caused people to develop cancer. Earlier this month, J&J stock collapsed 6.2% after a Food and Drug Administration test found trace amounts of asbestos in a bottle of baby powder purchased online. Johnson and Johnson immediately recalled the lot from which the sample was taken. On Tuesday, the health company said 15 new tests from the same bottle found no asbestos. An additional 48 laboratory tests of samples from other bottles in the same lot found no traces of asbestos, J&J said in a news release. So basically, it was halted because of this news announcement. Um, let's take a look. It's a pretty big move. $3. So 6%, we're almost there from the initial drop. So it dropped 6% on the news of the asbestos. Overnight, it recaptured about half of that, maybe a little bit over half of that. So might take a look at it, but I definitely would not jump in pre-market. I just don't know if that news is sufficient enough to, I guess, call for a huge run up there. But if it can settle some of these legal issues and really work on its quality in terms of its products, I think that this might be a good long-term play. But if you were lucky to get in the move yesterday, congratulations. Um, but I would just kind of maybe wait for the dip on this one. Let's see, Ionis Pharmaceuticals. See if there's anything exciting going on with Ionis. Whoops. Remember, if it sounds boring, it's probably sexy. Look at that chart. That is the definition of sideways. I wonder what happened here. From today's date to April 11th, it's a pretty significant drop. Um, not, again, I don't know. But let's take a look at the news. Might just have been a dip play. I wouldn't really look that much into that one. Looks like Beyond Meat starting to find the floor here. Looks like that's up on the pre-market. After a again, one of these Beyond Meat is an example of a earnings gone wrong. I mean, it's great earnings report. First time profitable. I mean, everything was just beautiful. But look at this drop. I mean, this market is incredible. If you are playing earnings, you are gambling, and good luck to you because it just doesn't make sense. Looks like it's recovering a little bit from that drop. Not much. What, 10% of its loss? I'm projecting there's no news here. I'm not even going to go into this Bloomberg article. Everybody's got a reason, but I don't see a reason. Maybe I'm wrong, but run for the hills. Run for the hills. This New Skin Enterprises. Sounds awesome. All right, take a look at that. Hmm. Pretty decent 1 month chart. Woo! Let's go to the 6 month though. Shucks. Got a $19 loss within the 6 month period. Uh, news. Okay, so let's check the news. right, so we got an earnings report November 5th. I'm wondering if this move is a run-up play. Let's take a look and see kind of what's going on with New Skin. Looks like it has low expectations, which might allow for a beat. It's a lot of risk, though. I don't know. Let's see. Marketing company that develops and sells personal care products and dietary supplements under its New Skin and Pharmanex brands. New Skin. I don't know. I think I'll pass. Great move, though. Great move. Oh, looks like okay. Microchip technologies. Microchip stocks are kind of having a hard time. We'll look at AMD here in a minute. Um, all right, Microchip technology, $1.46. Analysts are projecting a decline in earnings. Okay. All right. I'm guessing that this is just another buy the dip move that had proven successful. I wouldn't look too much into that. I don't really see any catalyst there for any further increased price action. Price action either way. All right, let's take a look at Biogen. Biogen's another market mover, up 350. Biogen has the liver drug that is hoping to get approved that a lot of people are banking on. Um, we'll see how that goes. Good move here. Let's check news and see if there's anything new. Or maybe it was Alzheimer's. Let's take a look at it. That's not the right article. Okay. Sorry, Alzheimer's therapy. Looks like they want the FDA to reconsider their Alzheimer's therapy drug after some positive data. That could be a turnaround, folks. So we need to see when. Says investors erase most. So looks like there was the first time they tried to get the Alzheimer's drug approved, it failed miserably. Stock went down 25% back in March of this year. Um, this new positive data uh, sharply increased the stock price. Looks like uh, gained 42% to 318, which is nearly back to what it traded back in March. So basically, it's already erased the loss of the failed attempts of their Alzheimer's drug back in March. So unless this drug gets approved, I don't see any real positive price action unless you get speculation. I might buy a dip on this and kind of see where it goes. I'm going to look into this article to see if I can get a date when the FDA is going to look at this. So early next year. Okay. Okay. I hope this drug works though. Alzheimer's is a horrible drug or a horrible disease. All right. I'm gonna put I am gonna put this in my November watch list only because I'm curious to see if we'll get some speculative buyers and maybe some buy the dip opportunities here. Curious to see if maybe we can something let's do something here. Whoops. We'll go over that in a little bit. I'm gonna change this around a little bit. Messing with Word here just to get my outline set up. Alright, I'll just do this later. I don't want to waste everybody's time while I try to get my outline straight. Promise by tomorrow be a little bit less choppy. Alright, what else we got here? Starbucks. Oh, I know what this is. This is a speculative play on its earnings. Oh boy. Can't wait to go over this post market. Bear with me as I get this squared away. Yep, we got a 65-cent pre-market, and that's Starbucks reports today. It'll be interesting to see what Starbucks does. I'll be sitting on the sidelines, but I'll be covering it at the end of market close, or excuse me, at the end of market. Let's see how that goes, but that's definitely a speculative play on the earnings. Nike, let's see what's going on with Nike. It's like Nike is, it's like it's got a sale of Hurley to Blue Star Alliance. Okay. So I'm wondering if that sale has something to do with this little bit of a bump, or it could have been also a buy the dip. Plenty of room here, folks. Plenty of room. So if you're looking for a buy the dip play, I would look at Nike. I'm going to put that on my November watch list. You're going to thank me for making this corny watch list. Pay off. My computer likes to number it this way, so go ahead and do it that way. Alrighty, let's see when Nike's earnings report. Or did it already have earnings? Might have already had earnings. Fine. NASDAQ is not working. Yeah, I think it already had earnings, so it already had earnings. Next one's 12.19. I'll still look at it for the buy, the dip play, possibly a little bit later as the market finds itself. If the market does find itself in the positive direction. All right, I'm going to refresh the pre-market screen, see if there's anything new that I missed on the way to that. On the way of looking through the other ones, nope, looks like a little bit of the same. So I'll be keeping an eye out on these. Um, so those are the leaders. You got some laggards here. I'm not going to go through the news articles on why these are laggards. Um, we'll do that a different one. But as you can see there, Advanced Micro Systems, excuse me, Advanced Micro Devices is on there. This is a reason why you want to make sure that you are cautious during the earnings season. So let's take a look at Advanced Micro Devices. Advanced Micro Devices reported yesterday post-market. And as you can see, it was a little bit turbulent, had a positive move at the beginning of the announcement. Come on, Google. Of 82 cents. I actually, to be honest with you, I don't even know if that was a speculative play. And then it immediately dropped 77 cents. I mean, immediately 77 cents at around 4:30. Came back up to 33.22. Oh, nope, nope. 33.38. Shot back down to 32.67 and is now trading at 32.33. Let's take a look at the earnings. AMD reports highest revenue in more than a decade, but slightly light forecasts make stock volatile. Okay, so let's see what happened here. If we can we please see the news? There we go. There she is, Lisa Su, President and Chief Executive Officer of AMD. She does a good job, folks. Let's see. Advanced Micro Devices Inc. reported its highest quarterly sales in more than a decade Tuesday, but a forecast that came in slightly below expectations sent shares on a seesaw in late trading. Let's see. Reported quarter net income of 120 million or 11 cents per share, compared with 102 million and 9 cents a share a year ago. So that was pretty good. Revenue rose to 1.8 billion from 1.65 billion. A year ago, analysts surveyed by FactSheet had forecasted adjusted earnings at 18 cents a share on a 1.81 billion. So slightly. Our first full quarter of their new processor, I can't pronounce it, I apologize, drove their highest quality revenue in 2005, highest quality gross margin since 2012, and a significant increase in net income year over year. There is a little bit of disruption due to some of the China customers that are on the entities list, and we follow that closely. So the trade deal is kind of affecting profitability a little bit. But they are thriving nonetheless. Looks like expects fourth quarter revenue of 2.05 billion to 2.15 billion, and the analysts are calling for 2.15 billion in the fourth quarter. So there's a slight discrepancy on what AMD is calling for in the fourth quarter and what the analysts are calling for, and that slight discrepancy is what sent the volatility. I wouldn't even say that that's volatile. I would say that that just took a crap. I mean, that's it might as well have just missed expectations. So that's the margin, folks, of earnings in this market. I mean, if you're off just a nanogram, you can get hammered, and so that's why here at ACC Capital we're not playing earnings, but there's been some slight successes as well. So you kind of got to judge, but I mean anything can send a share price plummeting. We're not going to go through the other earnings. We're just going to take it on in the present moment. We'll cover the major earnings after market close today, but um, again, really stay cautious, folks, on those earnings. Okay. All right. So that wraps up a pre-market. So let's take a look back at the stock market just to see what's going on here. Pre-market to get your pre-market warm up going on, folks. Whoops. I need to go back a little bit. Click happy. I'm going to refresh the page just to make sure. And surprise, surprise, market's still trading sideways, folks. See what new news articles out. German jobless claims rise more than expected in October. Oh, that's not good. We also, speaking of that, today we have ADP employment numbers. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what our employment numbers are, what our employment numbers, I guess what our employment number is, as well as gross domestic product. So that'll be interesting. We'll be covering that post market. Annixter shares to be bought for 81 each by Clayton. Okay, let's take a look at Annixter. Annixter. Oops, stock. Annixter stock. Don't have a reaction yet. I'll have to read more into this. Bought for $81, 71, so $81 each, and it's trading at 71.40. Oh, got a share dilution. Oh, got some diluted EPS. I don't know. Anytime I see dilution, I don't know. I'll have to read more on that. But I'll probably keep it on the watch list just to see how that reacts. Trump administration wants to control where cars are. We talked about that automotive industry. Be careful. So let's see. General Electric's third quarter revenue, 23.6 billion versus 23.39. Okay, let's see what GE did. Might be some good short opportunities. I don't know. Nope. You just can't tell, can you? I'm not going to look and see what caused that. I'm just going to um, take that for what it is. Maybe they had great guidance. I have no idea. Oh, adjusted EPS of 15 cents. So mixed bag. Mixed bag was enough to get a move there. So if you were in that, congratulations. Um, but I wouldn't play that into the bell. So again, you never know with these earnings reports. I mean, you just never know. 70 is the new 60. Bungie says it now expects 2019 earnings to fall. Q3 loss of 10.57 a share. That's not enough soybeans. All right. Interesting. Looks like the NASDAQ is trying to regain some of its losses in the market, is trying to climb back up there. I don't know, folks. Just don't know. Interesting. Interesting to say the least. Okay. What we'll be watching today, or what will be watching today. First is Fitbit. So Fitbit is possibly being bought out by Google, or they're in talks. There might be some other bidders like Apple. I think Apple and Fitbit currently have a relationship. They might be. I know Google's bidding, so had some interesting trading activity. We'll go to the 5-day chart. So it all started around here, right? So had a pretty interesting move. So between Monday and today, we've had $1.45 Fitbit. It's a pretty dramatic move. I was expecting more of a dip after it got up to here um, during actually well yeah after it got up to here um, 'cause that's a significant move for Fitbit. Um, but continuing to run. So I'm going to refresh my page to see if it dropped a little bit pre-market. Down 5 cents pre-market. I'm going to keep an eye on this because this is a possible dip. However, Google might be buying some of the shares prior to officially purchasing the company, or there might be other bidders and some speculation going on. So I might see if this still has continued to run, has the ability to continue to run today. But if this drops another 5 cents, I am gonna get out of it. I've had a significant um, profit off of Fitbit, so I was in it about here. So, oops, nope, not there. Sorry, I was in it here. So I had a pretty good profit. So we'll see. Um, we'll see what happens. Um, but if it doesn't, then if it goes down another 5 cents, I'll probably jump out of that. A couple pharma stocks I'm going to be paying attention to as the week progresses is LPCN. They actually have a big week next week. They're looking to get, they're presenting more data on a drug that kills fattiness in livers. I believe that's going to be sometime soon here. So that's definitely on my watch list. I'll follow up on this later in the week, kind of get the definite date on when that announcement will be. Um, let's see if I can find it here real quick. Um, I will say that the last time, we'll have more details later in the week as far as this play. But last time this particular drug of theirs was looking to get approved for, it failed. So I know that based upon some of the insiders that they're confident, but I would be cautious. But there might be a big move here, so we'll keep reminding you of that as the week progresses. Um, RDHL is another one. So RDHL, let's take a look. I think I wrote this one down. RDHL is looking for PDUFA data under priority review. So November 2nd is when, which is a Saturday. But, that's according to the FDA calendar, when that's projected to hit. So I will be looking at this. Last 5 days, since Friday, it's had a pretty good, pretty decent run up. So we'll see how that goes. Um, might play for a little bit more continuation, might wait for the dip, I'm not sure. That will be on my watch list for the remainder of the week. Fed announcement, of course, I'm going to look at silver and gold. So my two picks for silver and gold is the first is AG, king hands down. Not trading in the pre-market. I looked at the spreads. Spreads are incredible, so nobody wants to buy that high. So the ask is very high, and that's why it's not trading pre-market. I took a look earlier in the morning, and there's some traders who are expecting big moves with the Fed announcement. We'll see if that happens. My gold pick is JNUG. Kind of a similar story. Oh, nope, it is trading in the pre-market, up 90 cents. Let's spread. So that tells me that the spread is not that catastrophic. I'm going to look at the futures to see kind of what gold is doing. Gold's up 0.13. Okay, but it's below 15,000. So, or it's not 15,000. I wish. It's below 1,500. So I'm going to wait on that. JNUG is a very volatile stock, but if it gets some more gas, then I will definitely look at that for maybe later today. So those are going to be on my watch list. Besides that, I'm going to take it easy. Again, very choppy, very choppy. And we're going to have a big announcement. So at 2 p.m. with the Fed. So I'd really be patient. Bitcoin's going down further, so might be some opportunities there. I'd be very, very patient. I let the market play out, see where it goes, see what shakes. Don't be too antsy. And I will see you later during post market. Thank you for watching. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're just starting out, so um, hopefully we'll, get you guys some good ideas and girls, and you'll join us later in future episodes. Thank you very much, and safe trading.